Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
And welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I am Isani Keta.
And good morning, Belize. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're at home or abroad. Thank you for being here on this Monday morning. Good morning, Isani.
Good morning, April.
Had a good weekend? Happy weekend?
Yes. I can't complain.
Relaxed.
Well rested, you know.
Same. I had a good weekend too. I don't know if it was because I was doing so much all the weekends before that this weekend I kind of just crushed my little bit. But nevertheless, it was pretty well relaxed. Friday was very eventful. Saturday not so much. Yesterday was also an eventful day, but we'll get more on that with Eye on the News. Friday was archaeology. No, Saturday was International Archaeology Day. I know it's not a thing that we talk about, but I just need to throw that out there because I had a great time at Lamanai. It was celebrated on Friday through the Institute of Archaeology.
Nice.
And there was, of course, education booths and so forth, why we should recognize it as a day. We have a lot of archaeology in Belize, and I just think that we should take ownership of that.
I think perhaps, you know, it's something for us to get a better handle on in terms of interest. So while you have all of these archaeological sites, while you have all of this work that is taking place with excavations and all these other aspects of archaeology, to get the interest of the Belizean populace is another thing.
Well,
that probably proves a bit more challenging, perhaps.
It does, definitely, and I'm glad you brought that up because, like you said, we appreciate, and I think we very much are grateful for the tourism that these archaeological sites bring. I don't know how many times when I go out to a site that I explain to people, you know, it took hundreds of years to make this excavation what it is, or this conservation project what it is. It didn't just appear one day, you know.
You know, as a child, I had perhaps one of the first publications on archaeology in Belize. I'm trying to remember the name of the book, but at a point I could have rattled off many, if not all, of the various archaeological sites across Belize. Seros, Lobanton, Nimleponit, Altun Ha, you know, Caracol, so on and so forth, by district
and
as
those
well.
are just the excavated ones.
Yes, those are the ones that have been excavated.
And open to the public. There over 5,000 of them. And that's why I think it's important that we recognize that. I think that,
if I'm not mistaken, April, there was a time, fairly recently perhaps, where they were attempting to use LiDAR to be able to look at what, you know, is out there and how many,
and
many of them are overgrown, so it's just see a mound and then you presume it to be an archaeological
but
site.
And that's why when I say we have like over 5,000 sites, it's because we have used LiDAR to detect where they are and so forth. So trust me, when you think you have a mound at your backyard and government or archaeology don't know about it, they know about it. You know, we have done extensive research throughout the country, and it wasn't just the other day. We have been looking at research in Belize for hundreds of years, and it's incredible to me anyway. And I'm biased at how far the research has come and progressed. But you're right, the interest of archaeology is not there, perhaps because we're unaware.
Perhaps it's seen as too academic.
Maybe, and it is, because I'll tell you something. I wanted to do archaeology since I was 7 years old. That was my everything. I wanted to dig dirt. I was so excited to be able to get the opportunities to do it. But had somebody told me, Isani, that in college I would have had to take in 4 levels of math to do archaeology, I probably would have said no, just because it is scientific. Look, and it is academic, right?
Growing up, right, when we think of archaeology as kids, we either think of people like Indiana Jones or
yes.
Tomb Raider.
Yes, indeed. And you know, as much as we all in the archaeology world will say Indiana Jones is not a real archaeologist, we've all seen the movies and we've had some kind of influence because of it. But nevertheless, I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like in Belize we have so much more to offer in terms of that field, and I just wanted everybody to know that it was celebrated and to continue to appreciate what we have here at home.
Nice.
But as you know, Isani, here what we do every Monday is we give you the hard topics in our Monday morning segment. Here is the Eye on the News.
So there was a high-level delegation that traveled to Miami over the weekend, well, at the start of the weekend, and it included, or it was led by Prime Minister John Briceño. You had the Minister of Tourism, Anthony Mahler, Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney, and of course, Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner. And this was just a few of the persons who formed this delegation. So they traveled to Florida to meet with the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, right? The FCCA. And the idea was how the government of Belize would be able to strengthen its partnership with the FCCA in terms of continuing the entire push for cruise tourism. As you would know, while cruise tourism may not necessarily be the number one in terms of when you look at persons visiting in Belize, for leisure, it's more overnight tourism that drives the tourism economy or the sector. But they're still placing emphasis on the cruise sector. Now, all of this is against the backdrop that, there is still a lot to be done in terms of the existing framework for how tourism development will progress in this country. We look at what's been happening earlier this year with the definitive agreement and what has been happening with State Bank, with Port Magical, with Port of Belize. So that kind of sets the background. And I think, like I mentioned earlier, part of what is being mentioned is the fact that, look, there will be a legislation that replaces what we knew as a definitive agreement for any other stakeholder who's interested in developing a cruise tourism project in the country. But it has to go through its stages, right? It has to be discussed in cabinet, presented to Parliament, and then it goes through its readings and so on and so forth before it becomes, an actual piece of law. We don't know how long that will take, but things continue to happen in and around the cruise tourism sector. So part of what was being said or rumored last week, and it speaks to us being as responsible and thorough as possible in terms of being able to look into an issue. Because they were saying, well, it's a round of secret meetings or whatever. No, we don't know what may have happened on the sidelines. That's not what I'm here to discuss. I don't know. I wasn't there. But insofar as what actually took place, well, we've seen the images of the meetings and what have you. And like I said, we're at a point where we're having serious conversations to see how we could, strengthen and further develop the existing cruise tourism sector.
Well, we don't know the content of that meeting that took place, and I'm very curious to know how they would factor in such a big conversation given all of these other issues that have not been resolved as yet. And I know we're talking about how the law gets formulated here in Belize, but we've also had the cases of the environmental laws, as well as the we have Oceana and all of these other organizations that are here to stand up for the rights of the environmental laws. So it makes me wonder what kind of I don't want to say agreements because we don't know what's taking place, but what kind of conversations are going to have when it comes to all of this in the background. I'm more curious to figure out how we could even begin to have these conversations when we haven't resolved the ones that have been taking place over the past few months.
I can tell you that I believe it would have been sometime last year. I had interviewed Michelle Page. She's the president of the FCCA. And they had visited Belize to do a flyover of the proposed site for Port Magical at the time. And one of the things that she had mentioned in that interview, and I believe it's reiterated once again, that it is high time for Belize to have a port with a berthing facility where we're trying to move away from tendering, right? And, you know, while yes, we should have modern facilities that accommodate or meet these standards or requirements, you know, it's how we go about choosing which one and who will do this and who will do that. That becomes, you know, the controversial aspect of the whole thing. I
don't know. I've always said, to me, the concept of cruise tourism and having just like maybe one day in a particular country, there has to be some level of logic behind scheduling, placing, and where you would put these persons to experience Belize in a sort of way. I've always said that, to me, Belize City is congested. That's just my opinion on how much people traffic in and from, in and out of Belize City, and how long it takes to get to certain areas, right? So for me, I've always said, put a port down south, put a port up north, boost certain spaces so that everybody can be able to win. But I know that's not how business works. I understand that there are certain persons that invest in other ways, but again, this is why I'm curious about that conversation, because for so long there has been this debate on where placement to put this port, why should this port get more favor over the other, all of these political issues behind it. And so I want to know the content of this meeting before I could even have an opinion about it.
Well, now that we know that there was this meeting in the United States with all of these stakeholders, it's on us now to follow up with either the CEO, the minister, the prime minister, you know, even the mayor. Because I'm curious to know, okay, what was the material purpose of the mayor of Belize City being there? I mean,
well, I know he's advocating for his smart city, right, with all of these electrical buses and so forth. So maybe that is part of that conversation.
Yeah, I'm saying we'd have to hear it from them, you know, insofar as how the meetings went, insofar as what the purpose of each respective individual on the delegation served, and so on and so forth.
Was it just Belize that was a part of this meeting, or were there other?
Yeah, this is the government of Belize, and of course the local government representative who attended this meeting with the FCCA. And from what I was able to read as well, they're saying it's arguably the first time they've had such a high-level delegation meet with the executive and the membership of the FCCA. So that speaks to how important we're taking the matter, right? And again, like I said, all of this is against what has been happening locally on the domestic front with respect to
so we can definitely look forward to the other organizations having an opinion on this.
Well, we'll see where that goes from there. We'll certainly see where that goes from there. To switch topics quickly, we're getting into the height of political season, right? And,
politics in Belize.
Politics is always a good thing. I mean, I'm from the sideline, right? I don't get involved in party politics. It's not my thing, but I enjoy being able to see how things play out on both sides, right? And so we know that this past weekend in Belmopan, a new slate has been put together for the People's United Party by way of a convention. And I know that there is Sani Kawich, who was going up against Tariq Kano for the mayoral candidacy. And Sani Kawich emerged victorious at the end of the convention. And so there are several other councillor candidates as well who are forming the PUP slate. Now, what is interesting about this for me, and I've said this perhaps in private capacity before, and you know, I'm looking at it now from an outsider perspective. This new slate, by way of convention, replaces what would have been the slate led by incumbent Mayor Sharon Palacio, right? And we all know how that played out. I mean, when I think of it, I look back at what transpired on September 21st with the Independence Day ceremony in Belmopan, and her, excuse me, using that platform to expose internal business, so to speak, right? And I've always held that it wasn't the most appropriate place to have that kind of a, you know, to air out the laundry of your party and your council. Yeah. And I think all of this plays out in real time, and we're seeing it. And it, for her, it led to, you know, them stepping down and saying, okay, well, we're not going to participate in any convention or what have you. But we could also say that her tenure has somewhat been mired in controversy from the beginning, where you have this sense of mutiny. You're the leader of the ship, you're the captain, but the others who are on board are not necessarily on board with you.
Yeah,
you know?
I think from the get-go, the entire council in Belmopan was not in agreement, and it was not. You know, when I said, now bring your dirty laundry to work, everybody brought their dirty laundry to work, and it was executed throughout Belmopan. Unfortunately, I know that you were talking about the 21st, but that is not new news to Belmopan, right? And so when when these new candidates were coming up, and even the old councillors that were campaigning and so forth, unfortunately, I am not surprised at the outcome of this convention, because it wasn't just the leader, right? It was the fact that, and this is just speaking based on what I know was occurring in Belmopan, is the fact that nobody could seem to ever to get along. And yes, you could blame one person as much as you want, and that person could blame the other people as much as they want. The point is that it affected all of us. Isani, there was hardly anything happening in Belmopan, and I live there, so that affects me, right? And the fact that nobody could come together, not one person could say, okay, we're going to do this for Belmopan. Put with differences aside, it's for our people. Nobody. And so when this new slate came out with Pablo Kawich on top and his councillors, I'm not surprised. Everybody decided, you know what, out with all of you, not just one, all of you, right? And it's unfortunate, because I know that all of them had their ideas. I know that all of them wanted to do more, right? What is also unfortunate is that I live in Belmopan, and I not once see any other people in campaign. and I'm telling you this because I am somebody that actively watches politics, because I need to know who to manage my money and where my taxes to go towards. And if I don't see it happening, I need to know who I need to speak to, right? And that is why I'm so interested in this particular convention. It would have been great to have a young person like Tariq Kano leading the city, to see new ideas come out, to see what would occur, just like we have Mr. Pollard here in Belize City that wants to bring forth new ideas and so forth. But the people have spoken, and Mr. Kawich is now the new PUP candidate in Belmopan, along with his slate.
And we know that in Belize City on November 5th, there will also be a People's United Party convention as well, to determine who the councillor candidates will be going into the municipals for 2024. We know that 2 persons have already been endorsed automatically, the incumbent mayor and, of course, Alan Pollard, who initially wanted to run for mayorship as well. So we know that those two seats are spoken for, and so it will be the remaining candidates. And when we spoke with the Prime Minister following the last executive meeting that they had here in Belize City, he was talking about the level of interest that has been generated by persons who want to offer themselves at this level, right? there was a time when nobody wanted to run on a PUP slate. And Colonel Hyde alluded to that in an interview that I did with him as well, where he was saying it was tough trying to get persons to sign up for, candidacy. Now, everybody wants because it's the popular thing. It's the in thing right now. You can't not see what's also taking place on the other side. When you look at what the United Democratic Party is also doing in terms of putting together its slates and priming itself for the upcoming elections.
I'm glad you brought that up, because as we know, and I can only speak about home because I live there, but I also believe that one of the things that assisted Mr. Cowich's, winnings is the fact that he is probably going up against Miss Jacqueline Burns, who is also very known in Bellarmine, and she also has a very popular slate behind her as well. So I think politics is so much more than just you voting for one candidate and they're winning against another. It's making sure that you can stand your ground against the other your opponent, right? So when UDP comes out, we'll see who takes that.
It has long been said that the municipals serve as somewhat of a barometer to measure how strong the actual ruling party is at the central government level, right? And so while this present administration is going into its third year, I think November 2020 makes 3 years of the Briceño administration, when the municipals come around in March of next year, it will be somewhat like a litmus or a heat test to see where they actually are. And so, that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm trying to see where the people are in terms of how they feel about either of the two parties going forward.
Isani, I was speaking to Vianney earlier, and I said, I am really looking forward to March. I'm looking forward to see it, because it's not just the fact that it's political culture in Belize is very entertaining, but the reality is that this past 3 years have been a lot. It was not just COVID. It was now we're gotten to 2 wars. We have global inflation. I think we kind of go through a mini recession. It's all of these different issues that have compounded a particular government, and not just ours, but throughout the world. And so I'm really looking forward to see what the people have to say, or how much the people know, and that is going to show in the upcoming election. So I'm excited about that.
Interesting times, right?
We're living in interesting times. I never thought I would try to tell people don't catch a plague, take a vaccine, stay inside. I never thought I would be saying those words. I used to teach about that for 100 years, and now here I am saying it in the present. It's wild.
Well, thankfully that's all behind us. I mean, I am an optimist. I put COVID and everything behind me 3 years ago. I'm good at that. But we'll leave that there, April.
Yes, we have to
bring
close
to an end our Eye on the News segment this morning. Certainly details of these stories and more you will be able to catch on 5 at 6 p.m. And of course, if you're not in front of your TV sets, that's not a problem. You can catch us on Facebook or YouTube. That does it for this morning's Eye on the News.
And as we move on with our show for this morning, we have our weather update from the Belize Meteorological Service. Fair weather this weekend. I don't know about here in the city. It was cool. Yeah, it wasn't too hot. So let's see what the folks have to say. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, forecaster. We are talking about the fair weather that took place this weekend. Can you give us the general situation for today?
Okay, mainly fair conditions will prevail today with a gradual increase in shower activity tomorrow.
All right, and our 24-hour forecast?
Sunny with a few cloudy spells today, becoming cloudy at times tonight. Shower activity will be isolated today. Then a few showers or isolated thunderstorms will develop mainly over the north and some coastal areas tonight.
All right, how does that affect our winds?
Right, our winds will be from the east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and then sea conditions will be slight.
All right, and our highs and lows for today?
Okay, the highs will be about 88 along the coast, 94 inland, and 78 in the hills.
All right, I like that 78. And what about our outlook, our extended forecast for Tuesday and Tuesday night?
Okay, mostly cloudy skies. A few showers and thunderstorms will affect mostly coastal areas on Tuesday morning and then gradually spread to other places by Tuesday afternoon. Then activity will increase on Tuesday night, especially along the coast.
All right, with that, do we have any advisories, watches, or warnings?
No, we don't. However, there is a low pressure system located over the southwestern Caribbean, which has a medium chance of becoming a tropical depression during the next 48 hours before it moves inland over Nicaragua. But regardless of development, this system could produce heavy rainfalls over portions of Central America and including Belize during the next couple of days. So we are monitoring the system.
All right. Thank you so much, forecaster, for that update, and have a good day.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
All right, looking at that system right there, for reals, it was a cool weekend. I always look forward to rain. I'm hoping that we don't get affected. We're still in the hurricane season, of course, so don't breathe a sigh of relief just yet. But Islandi, we got to move on with our show for this morning. We have a jam-packed show with 3 segments, beginning with the conversation on pregnancy and infant loss. We are going to have the folks from Wings of Mind to talk about pregnancy and infant loss and how it affects a majority of the population in our country.
Our second conversation this morning, we will be celebrating Coastal Awareness Week, and so we will be joined by our friends from the Coastal Zone to come in and discuss with us what their activities will be like for this week.
And wrapping up our show, it's all about Miss Y and the countdown to that pageant. We're going to have the candidates in to talk to us all about their journey to Miss Y. But before we get into all of that and more, we're going to take the break. We'll be back with pregnancy and infant loss. Stay with us.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there. See? Babe, the price me too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation a reality.
Thanks to you, babes, to turn things around.
No thanks to you, cheapo.
Ouch.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
With the steady increase in prices, it's hard to hold on to your hard-earned cash. Well, here at Benny's, prices are steadily falling, making it easier to stretch your dollars. Prices are slashed on electrical products, LED lights, plywood, and wheelbarrows. Yes, we have the cheapest in town. And with X massive season going on right now, get store-wide discounts on select products from now through the summer 31st. Visit a Benny's store near you today, where the prices just keep on falling. Benny's, quality and savings.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Do you know how to choose the best engine oil for your car? We believe the best engine oil should provide optimal performance and ultimate protection for longer. For Quartz engine oil, our engineers have formulated age resistance technology, also known as ART. It's a breakthrough innovation. The interaction between oil molecules is increased, creating a super resistant molecular structure. So whatever the conditions, it helps to prevent the lubricant protective film from breaking. Any engine is exposed to harsh conditions: extreme temperature and pressure, friction, sludge accumulation. The molecular structure of quartz with ART stays strong to perfectly lubricate and protect engine parts in all conditions. And the results are outstanding. Protection against sludge buildup improved by 18%. Protection against mechanical wear improved by 74%. Thanks to Quartz with ART, save on maintenance and preserve your engine's power. So next time you wonder which engine oil to use, choose performance and protection that lasts longer. Quartz with age resistance technology. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
And welcome back. We have been joined in studio this morning for our first segment by the co-founders of Wings of Mind. We have been joined in studio by Julianne Ellis Bradley. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Isalie Lizama. She's the founder of Wings of Mind. Good morning, Isalie.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's talk about the work that Wings of Mind does and what this organization or movement stands for.
Okay, Isa has asked me to take this one. Yes, Wings of Mind is an organization that supports those who have experienced preterm and infant loss. And let me say that because some people may think we only assist persons who've had miscarriages. It's not only miscarriages, it's also those who have lost at an early age. For example, their children born but they don't survive the first year, for example. And it's very fitting because this month is World Infant Loss Awareness Month. And one of the things that we do as Wings of Mind is we provide support in various ways. We reach out, we provide peer support, as well as try to find access to counseling for those who may need it. And we also, from time to time, try to do like little packages for newborns. One of the things that happens sometimes when you have an infant loss is you're not preparing to bury your child. You're not preparing to say goodbye. You may be preparing to welcome that child home. And so you may have your nursery set up. You may have, you know, you get together your little items when you get to 6, 7 months because you're preparing to welcome the baby. But if the baby doesn't make it home with you, what then? Most of us are not prepared for that. And Isalie and I also share the fact that we have had pregnancy losses. My daughter died at about just over 6 months. She lived for a few hours. Isa will also share that she lost twins. And one of the things that I think helped significantly is having somebody who actually knows what you're going through. And I think Isa would share a little more about her particular journey, but one of the things that helped me most of all was the peer support. Someone who is able to say, I went through it and it's going to be okay, because there are many questions running through your mind when something like this happens. Will I ever have a child again? Is this going to be the same thing the next time around? There are just so many insecurities, so many questions, and it is hard. And when you have that familiar support, then we find that it has helped significantly. And that's how Wings of Mind came about. Isa is the powerhouse behind Wings of Mind, and she spearheaded the organization in terms of its startup.
Well, it started when I had my loss, and I couldn't, in my mind, couldn't wrap around what was going on with me. Like, this actually came to my door, you know, and it changed my life totally. And so this one day, my mom was trying to find all different outlets, and nothing, absolutely nothing was working. And she invited this lady over, and I was like, oh gosh, another one. And it was Julie on the veranda on that Sunday. And the first time I felt that I could open up, and I felt talking to someone that was on my level that I could relate to. And I was like, this is the first time I feel sane, like, you know. So I told Julie, was telling her, and then after a while so I spoke to one of my cousins in the States, Charlotte, and I was like, we should do something. We should have a group or something, a group of women to talk about these things. And she was like, well, I'll support you. And I said, well, let me call a lady that came to the house too. And so I did. And Julie, she jumped on board, and that's how Wings of Mind came about. Yeah.
You know, I'm listening to you ladies share your personal experiences. And I'm also listening to how this movement was formed or came to be. But I can't help to think about an incident that happened earlier this year with the mix-up with the baby that died at the KHMH. And what that mother would have gone through, because as you mentioned earlier, Julie, when you go in to give birth, you're not thinking, okay, well, my child may not make it out alive. You're going in there with your pampers, your feed, everything. You're not going in there with a small little coffin to come out back with.
Exactly.
Nobody goes in thinking that. But it's the reality. These things do happen.
Yes.
And so when it does, where do you turn to? What kind of support is there for you to be able to access? And I'm glad that you guys have banded together to create this outlet for other mothers who may be going through the same thing. Because perhaps for a while, they were just out there lost. They have to battle with this internally. And despite the fact that they may be talking to other people, understanding a situation and being able to relate to it are two different things, right?
Yes. It's more, and you hit the nail on the head, because it's more prevalent than you think. The statistics have been varying over the years, but it's still at the range of about 20 to 25% of pregnancies will end in a loss at some point. It's unfortunately nature. There are advances in medicine that helps to improve. In Belize, for example, we don't have much in terms of neonatal intensive care. Thankfully, KHMH has a neonatal intensive care unit, but there are other districts. You know, there are other things, such as access to ultrasounds, being able to detect things early. But sometimes, despite the best efforts of medical professionals, losses do happen. And so one of the things that we would like to do as Wings of Mind is to decrease the stigma attached to loss, because many times women face loss and there is shame attached to it. There's a taboo, especially if it's more than one. Oh, you can't have baby. You know, there are different things that happen, and we sometimes are not sensitive to what somebody who is experiencing a loss needs. And let me stick a pin right there, because we're not only support for women, it's the entire family, because you have the men too, and men grieve in a very different way. I remember my husband and I, it was our first child. We were really looking forward to welcoming our baby, and he grieved in a different way. I was just torn to pieces, crying every day, and he would be trying to get back into work to kind of, and to me that built resentment, because I said, how is it that you seem to be fine? And then everyone kept telling him, you have to be strong for Julie. And I want to let men out there know that you don't have to be strong. You are also grieving. And it's something to go through and grow through. And so I want people to stop putting so much pressure on men to be strong, because you've lost. And you can grieve just in this, you may grieve in different ways, but you grieve nonetheless. And so it's a family loss. Isa will share with you, it's a family loss. It's not just the woman. The woman carries the child physically, and it's devastating, but it's the family that has lost a child. And we want to be sensitive to that. We want to be sensitive to that in the workplaces as well. I've heard of persons who've had miscarriages and go back to work the next day. You know, and it's we do, as employers, sometimes we're not as sensitive to it, because even though you don't have a baby, I mean, you don't get maternity leave because your baby didn't make it home, when maybe you have gone through the entire 9 months. You need some time to recover, but our laws are structured for you, the prepartum and postpartum. And what happens to that lady who has to go back, smile, pretend everything's okay? We want to let you know that it's okay to not be okay.
Well, we are still a society that finds any kind of depression or anxiety as taboo. We don't talk about these kinds of things. So let's talk about those peer services that you offer. I know that, like you said, the statistics are a little sparse, but we do have women that go through. We have young women that go through it. We have teenage mothers that go through these kinds of things. What kind of therapy or PTSD counseling do you all offer?
We offer counseling. We offer like free 3 sessions of counseling, and these are for mothers who want to, you know, when you have a loss, you need time. It's when that person is ready. Sometimes it takes longer than usual. It's all the individual, you know, how strong they are mentally. But counseling is very, very important. Not having counseling, these things affect you in all aspects in your life. I mean, your relationship, your job, everything. So counseling is very, very important to have.
How can they access that counseling?
Well, we offer it, but they have to be willing to want the services too, you know. Like you mentioned, this topic is a taboo thing, and it's not something that people talk about. People don't want to talk about their business, you know.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. So we want you guys to know that we are, it's all a group, we talk, it's private, you know. It's like
Facebook, how they contact us.
Oh, of course, you can contact us on our Facebook page. You can contact us on our website. It's wingsofmindbz.org. Yeah.
Let's go back a bit. So, both of you individually have gone through this ordeal.
Yeah.
How were you guys able to sort of recover from it? I know that it's a process. Perhaps you're still going through it. You think about it every so often and what have you. But how did you guys reach to a point where you can say, okay, you know what? I've come to terms. I've sort of accepted what has happened enough for me to move forward.
Well, for me, I really feel that time did that for me. It's a process. It takes time because sometimes it hits you at the weirdest places, you know. And I think it's time. You need time and support. Yeah. My big support was my family. They were there from the get-go. From I said I wanted to start this organization, they were there. I have my cousin, also a co-founder, Charlotte now, which is a big support to our organization. She also have a organization there in Naples, Florida, Ishel Karib. She supports us very much. We have the special envoy that supports us. We even have the city council that supports us, that gave us the space for the monument that we unveiled last weekend. So support, I would say. Yeah,
for me, it was family and faith as well. That's a lot of prayer, you know, and what really assisted me as well is when you go through grieving, there are stages of grief. And the first is just you're not much used to yourself. Don't try to push yourself to be okay. Go through it. Allow yourself to go through the emotions and understand that you have lost. Then the next step is to try to find a way to get back to normalcy. And then for me, what helps tremendously is giving back. So a part of healing is giving back. So this, for me, I make time for this because it is a part of giving back that helps me to heal. This, and grieving is never, it's not the same for everyone. For some persons, in a year, you might think you're okay. I thought I was okay. It happened 13 years ago for me. And first year, I never thought, I didn't even think I would, I don't know what, I couldn't see ahead. It never seemed like I would ever smile again. It just seemed like it would have been absolutely devastating. So time helps, and then also reaching out to others. So I didn't know Isalie when my hairdresser told me, and would you be able to speak to her because I know you went through this? And the answer was yes right away. I stopped what I was doing, drove all the way to Ladyville, and I met with Isa. And these are things which help me to heal. And the part of it that I think that persons sometimes don't understand, the power is in sharing. And I encourage men especially, sometimes even my husband comes on board and I say, can you talk? Because sometimes I can speak to another woman about what she's going through, but a man sometimes will be helped by another man. And maybe they don't even talk about it. They sit down and talk about everything else, but knowing that it's okay. Yes, there's a brotherhood there that helps. And so my husband, sometimes we enlist other men in the group. There is actually a man in the group. So it's not just for women. And I think that reaching out and helping, it heals for the other person, and it heals. Sometimes I will see a story on Facebook or on the news about somebody who's lost, and I'll message them privately or something and say, hey, there's this group, let me know if you ever want to talk, you know. So, and even though it was 13 years, the fact that my daughter would have been a teenager just hit me in a different way, and I was torn to pieces last week when it would have been her birthday. And I thought 13 years I'm okay now. That's what I think.
You know, what is interesting is that my parents went through the same thing as well, right? I would have had 2 older siblings before myself and my other brothers. And they didn't have these kinds of services available to them, right? They had to navigate through the grief, they had to navigate through family planning and all of that by themselves. Well, I wouldn't say by themselves, but the kind of support system that is available today wasn't around back then. And I could understand where you're saying that one can immerse him or herself in faith, because that's what you're left with. Like, if you don't have someone to turn to, then you turn to your God, and you try to see your way through religion or through faith, right? And I think what is equally interesting about it is that over time, you will eventually heal, but there are certain markers that you won't readily forget. Like I could always remember my parents telling us about our siblings. Like, I wouldn't have...
You wouldn't have known.
I wouldn't have known, one, two. I'll never get a chance to meet them, but the way my parents speak so fondly about them, I think that is part of their process of letting go as well, by being able to remember certain things. And I could also recall that as a child, my mom would say, well, today would have been your brother's birthday.
You know? You never
still remember.
Yes. There are two markers that I think we need to look at, two things that I think I would want to say in terms of how to support someone who is going through that loss that you may not know what to do. And then I want to touch a little bit on kids. Now, when somebody has had a loss, it's a personal thing, and sometimes you just don't know what to say. People sometimes go to the fallback of, God knows best, or don't worry, you'll have another one. I just want to tell you, it's not the most helpful thing to say. Because at that time, you're having a crisis of faith most times. And it causes you to question, what is it that, oh, this is what God wanted for me? We have to understand that one of the things that I struggled not to, I was almost going to ask God, why me? And then before the question came out, the answer was, why not you? Because in life we will all go through suffering of different sorts. That was part of my suffering, but I was able to deal with it through the resources and the people in my life. So if anybody else could have gone through it, I would have been equipped to go through it, because I have the support of family, my church, and so on. So we all have different ways, but when you see someone who's going through, sometimes just be there for them. Tell them, I can't understand what you're feeling. I don't know what you're feeling, but I am here. Or if you need anything, let me know. Or give them a hug, or let them know, just know that I am here. Resist the urge to try to make them feel better by telling them things like, don't worry, you'll have another one. It doesn't really help as much. And I know when people say that, they're very well-meaning. So the better thing to do would perhaps be to just be there in ways to support. For example, when you don't go home with a child, there are certain things that physically your body is still preparing for a child. I remember 2 days after the loss, my breast milk started coming down. And I didn't realize that now that you don't have a child, you're still going to have the ability to breastfeed. And it was the hardest thing. There are things which you weren't prepared for as a woman to go through because you had a child. And so providing support, helping maybe with the house chores so that they don't have to worry about that for a little while. Providing support in doing errands, because it's the last time. You're not going to be up and about so much depending on the nature of the circumstance, and you don't want to be out there. People will see you and say, how was the baby? What you had, boy or girl? And then you start bawling. You know, so those are ways that you can support, and reach out to someone who you know who's had a loss and let them try to speak to them. It makes a world of a difference, because that's what helped me. And there are many, and it made me realize just how prevalent it was, because there are many people who may be colleagues, friends who I never knew before that had a loss. And they were able to confide and say, I had a loss too, you know. And sometimes it's just something you don't share because you don't want to be a joy grabber and telling people about sadness all the time, you know, but it is good. I want people to know that there is joy even through the challenges. Don't lose hope. Reach out to us. I'm on Facebook. You can send me a message. Wings of Mine is on Facebook. And we also provide burial, because sometimes the little gowns, the little boxes, we try to assist with providing that as well. We also have someone who assists in preparing the babies, because sometimes the babies, once you pass 6 months, everything is everything is formed. The baby's breathing, everything. And you still have, sometimes people don't bury their children. They just, and take mementos of them. If you want to take their handprint, their footprint, take a picture, because you will value it later on. I'm happy that one of my family members took some pictures, because those are the few pictures that I have now.
I'm glad you brought up the point of maternity leave and these laws, because I think that it's important for us to highlight how it works. You don't want to go back to work. You don't want to. Depression is a very, very serious thing. So how can we, or how does Wings of Mine assist in these kinds of ways where now I have to go back and I don't want to go back, or I don't have the opportunity to take the time that I would have had if I had my child?
I was I didn't want to, but I think what Wings of Mine does is we help to connect you with a counselor.
Yes.
And like Isalie was saying, they're usually very helpful in allowing, that's their way of giving back too, in terms of providing at least up to 3 sessions, complimentary, based to the person who is getting the service. And then if you want, you can continue, but those 3 sessions would be at no cost to the grieving mother, through Wings of Mine. We provide, you see, Wings of Mine is a very small group. It's an organization that we're in our infancy, and we look out for ways in which to partner. Isalie spoke about the monument at the cemetery. Sometimes people didn't get a chance to bury their child, and you go back, you can go by the monument, say a prayer, you know, just in memory of your child. And there are different ways that Wings of Mine can provide connection with persons. We can speak to your employer if necessary. Some workplaces may want to better understand how to deal with it. We're available. We're always available.
Yeah.
Wow.
You said that this is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. What else is Wings of Mine doing to commemorate or recognize the month?
Well, we did our monument for this month. In May, we had our first tea party, which was a success. We want to thank everyone that had supported. It was a ball. And this year, we want to have a gala, hopefully. So we want to invite the public to come out and support us. The support will be a big help, because you know we are an NGO. So
can you give us more details on that?
Not-for-profit. Yes, we're a not-for-profit, and we at the tea party, for example, we were pleased to be joined by Ms. Rosana Briceño, who is the special envoy in terms of support. And we also have, Wings of Mine also gives back in terms of tangible ways. So we had some
we have care packages for the new moms. We're going to give that out this coming week here at the clinics and the hospital.
Here
in the city.
Okay. And if I am an out district mom, how do you all reach out to
yes,
me
we do. Well? We want the district moms to contact us once they want the support. We are right here. We have, like I mentioned, we have our page, we have the website. We also have a number, so anytime you want to reach out, we're available. 654-9736. That's our number.
And we also, Wings of Mine has also, sometimes we have wristbands that if you can just give a contribution if you want to. We don't sell them, but you can also wear them to raise awareness. We have bookmarkers and we have different things that help to just keep the conversation going and to raise awareness.
I think it is important for women and men to understand that they're not alone in this kind of experience or this kind of journey. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't really know what challenges lie ahead, right? Personal, spiritual, whatever the case may be. You don't really know what's coming until you find yourself in a situation. But there are many times where we treat with a matter in isolation, thinking that we're the only ones that are experiencing something like this, or I'm the only one that this has happened to. But in reality, there are other persons out there.
Many others.
Many others. And we want people to know that we don't only lean on the sadness part. You know, we also want successful pregnancy. So we also offer ultrasound to the mothers that are in need of ultrasound also.
In terms of, and this is just one of those ways where, like you said, nobody's prepared for these kinds of incidents to happen. How do you, and this is just coming from somebody that one has never had a child and has never experienced this, but how do you even approach the topic? Because when I saw the topic come up, I said, I don't even know how to, I'm not a mom. So how do I even know to speak to somebody? I can be empathetic, but I can't be sympathetic. I've never experienced this. So how do you approach somebody that has had this kind of situation? I know you said be there, but how do I even talk to you?
I think the best thing is to be frank in that I don't know what to do. Like, I'm at a loss. If you've never experienced loss of this nature, you can say, I've never had something like this happen, but I want to support you, or I want to know how I can help you. If you also want, if there's ways, like for example, if you're an employer, you can maybe offer, do you need a little additional time? Because more than likely you would have been planning for this person to be off anyway, and so on. And sometimes there are pregnancies lost that nobody knows about. It was before the first in the first trimester, and people might they might not have shared openly. But the best thing I think is to be open about it and say, I know you've had a loss, or I heard that you've had a loss. I'm sorry to hear. Is there any way that I can help? Is there any way, or just know that I am here if you need to talk. Sometimes it's just the person just needs somebody to talk to. And now you also have the way to say, there's a group, Wings of Mine, that you can reach out to. They're very helpful. They can, would you like me to give you the information? Just sometimes sharing that will allow the person in their own time to reach out. Or you can call us and say, I know someone who's having a difficult time. Maybe she won't reach out to you, but would you be willing to call her or something like that? We've done that as well. One of the things that I think we overlook sometimes is kids, because sometimes you have siblings who might be alive when the pregnancy has, and especially that time, it's very hard. And sometimes we say things like, we lost your sister. We encourage, don't speak to them about it. Kids also understand death is hard for anybody to deal with, but for kids, include them in the journey. Don't try to shield them from it. Let them understand what has happened. And I didn't even think about it, but someone shared that when you say things like, we lost your brother, the child internalize it and they're wondering, where did you lose him? In fact, one child said, go and find him. Or why didn't you, you know, they're dealing with it in different ways. And you need to include them and make them a part of the journey. Maybe do something together to remember their brother or sister. You know, openly talk about it, because they grieve in different ways, and it might be, you might not realize how much it affects them. So don't leave the kids out in the circumstance. And I think that it is something that is always helpful. If you have had a loss, being open with the person helps, because they speak to you on a different level. If they know that this is something you have gone through, they're more open about what it is, because they feel like you truly understand. But even if you've never had a loss, don't be afraid to reach out and just ask them. I don't know how to support you. How can I do it?
Wings of Mine. We can find you on Facebook, and of course we can reach out to you.
And our website.
And your website. Ladies, it is the Awareness Month for pregnancy loss and infant loss. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Do you have final words for our viewers today?
We just want to ask if anyone out there, if they want to join the group, we are here, we're available, and reach out to us.
Okay.
Yes. And I just want to say, just remember, you're not alone. It does get better. And remember, the men also need support as well. Okay.
We don't talk about them enough.
We don't talk about them, but we need to, because relationships suffer because of loss. There are some relationships that don't make it after loss, and it's whether it's marriage, a young relationship, a long-standing relationship, just because sometimes we don't understand each other. And we misread signals as to how people grieve, and it may cause additional stress and strain on the relationship. So we want to encourage people, remove the taboo, open expression, let's talk about this. It affects at least 20 to 25% of us. And so let us not let somebody else feel bad because they have lost, and let us be there to share our wings, right? That's how we...
Is that the logo?
Yeah, that's our logo.
Ladies, thank you so much for being here. Very intriguing and conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
We have to take the break, and when we come back, it is all about Miss Y and the journey to this pageant. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Every project has to start somewhere, and Brothers Habet's got you covered. We're the place for professionals because we understand success is built on quality and reliability. For the do-it-yourselfers seeking quality tools and materials to bring their out-of-the-box ideas to life, our paint department offers a kaleidoscope of hues to those looking to express their unique style. And for those seeking the perfect touch of elegance for their homes, we offer a curated collection of household fixtures and furnishings that caters to every taste. But what sets Brothers Habet apart is our exceptional customer service. Our employees go above and beyond to ensure that every customer's needs are met. We're here to see you through your building journey. Visit Brothers Habet and get started today, or call or WhatsApp us for a quote. See you soon.
The X-ray unit can be thought about as a branch of the accident and emergency department. So we see a lot of the accident cases that come through to check bones and other soft tissues. We also do a lot of chronic checks as related to chest X-rays and any other defects that might be able to be seen on an X-ray. Here is the closest X-ray service in the area. The next closest one would be the two hospitals in PG and one in Stan Creek.
Our regular work day for us would be tending to our what we call as outpatients, patients we see daily that are referred to doctors. We collect their samples, and then afterwards we do the processing. We do basic processing here, chemistries, urinalysis, hematology, stool samples as well. So, and we also cater for emergency samples as well.
We basically analyze blood samples. We know on a daily basis that doctors read blood samples and use it to analyze how the patient is doing on a day-to-day basis.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
What does family mean to you? Form a strong bond with your family.
Hey sis, how is friends?
Always remember, they may not be in the same place.
Coffee and friends, huh? Hiya!
Make the time you spend together fun and memorable. Ignore the petty differences.
Okay? So say you're sorry.
Love them while you still can. Life can be short.
Look! I did it!
You can be the glue that keeps them together.
You did a great job. Congratulations.
Family. Meaningful always.
Welcome back. If you're joining us right now, it is all about the Miss Y pageant. Joining us, we have the lovely candidates and reigning candidate Miss Y. To my right, we have reigning current Miss Y, Miss Carolyn Clark. Good morning. And beside her, we have Miss Shirlene Goff. Good morning. And then to my left, we have Miss Erlene Baptist. Good morning. Good morning. Miss Henrietta Gill. Good morning. And Miss Carol Jex. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies. Before we get into the pageant and so on, let's talk about the why. And why should we be looking deeper into this organization? What has the why done?
Well, the Y is a non-profit organization. And to look into the Y, it has a lot to offer. First of all, your children can enter there and get enrolled in a program, like the sewing classes, the cooking classes, the swimming classes, cake decorating classes. It really has a lot to offer, and it's an experience that will profit you in the long run.
I like the idea of having all of these classes, and these are free and available for women to come in.
That's right.
Do you find that most young women come in for these classes? Do you get a lot of persons that come to the Y?
Well, as far as I can see, yes, they do. Right now, they have classes going on, and we go there for meetings on Wednesdays. And I see a lot of different young ladies pass through where they're attending different classes there.
How has the Y impacted each and every one of you?
Well, for me, it was a different experience, something new to enter to, but I don't regret a moment of it. It has been a wonderful experience.
You're still the reigning queen.
Yes.
Yes.
What have you been able to accomplish as Miss Y over the past year? What were some of the perhaps the goals or the projects that you are involved with?
Well, first I started off with going to different schools, speaking about my life as an ex-addict, and most of the schools were interested in that because today the children have problems with addictions. So that was a great experience for me to be able to go out there and speak to them. I enjoyed that most of all because, you know, it's really hard out there. And to get the press, that will take you into a state of doing that. And not only that, we have different entities that we go into, you know? And it has been a wonderful experience for me. And the Y looks out for each and every one of its members in different ways. I have accomplished, most of all, a lot from one individual that got interested in me. I went home they sent me to the Y, and I went home, and I was like in shock. My whole house was a different color. One lady painted my entire home and decorated my back platform behind my shop, and that was really amazing. And I'm thanking her for doing that for me.
So let's hear from some of the other candidates. You are all members of the Y.
No, we're not.
Okay, let's talk about how you got into this pageantry then.
Well, I have always heard about Miss Y, and it's something that I like. I always go to the pageants, you know, and then I decided, I tried 1 year, and I came in second. It was like 8 years ago. And and they keep asking me, and I said, I didn't feel like I was dealt with the proper way, right? So I'm not going back. And my cousin kept asking me, and I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And then one day she said, are you going? And take this number. And I said, yes, I am going. And I called, and then I decided, okay, this is my call. I am going this time, you know. So, and then meeting the ladies, you know, you feel like you know them a long time. Like we're all, you know, we're all a family. You know, it felt so good, and I knew some of them, you know, so it was real. And I am looking forward for Friday night. It will be a very fun night, you know. I have tickets selling. I already sold 50 odd tickets.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I'm bringing a bus from Boom and a van, right? So, yeah.
She's out. She's coming.
And both of them, the bus and the van, was donated to me free. You know, so.
What about you, Miss Gill? We all know you from boxing and your work with the inmates at the Colbert facility. But why pageantry at your age?
You know something? I've been in the Y for many years, and it's like a second home when Wednesday comes. I look forward to it. Because the ladies there, it's a big family, you know, and we enjoy ourselves. And let me tell you, we have our president, Miss Kaylee. She's young, but you wouldn't believe it. She take care of us like she's our mother. It's wonderful having her there, and I hope God would bless her plenty more. But we are talking about the why. And there's a lot of tickets. Anybody who is out there listening, please contact somebody that you know that have tickets. Go to the why, to the Bliss, buy your ticket, because it will not be a dull moment. You're going to enjoy every moment from the time the curtain draw. It will be something, because 7 intelligent, talented ladies are going up.
Yes.
And I am going to grace that stage with the help of God.
And yourself?
Well, I don't know nothing about Miss Y, but I always wanted to be a part of the YWCA, and I work and I come home and Miss Carolyn called me and said, Carol, why don't you go on do Miss Y? I'm like, we can't do that. And I said, you know what, that's going to be fun. That sounds like fun. And so I'm here. I'm a little nervous, but it's my first time around, and I love these ladies, and I feel like home, and I just want to be a part of it, and I want all my fans and everybody in Cayo and these to come out and support us and enjoy our show.
All right, let's go.
Actually, I'm from Belmopan, so Belmopan have a Y, a YWCA too, and we do massages and pedicure and cooking class for men too.
Nice. You're looking at,
She's looking at
me. I get you.
Yeah, and I always go and look at the pageant, and from I was in the 50s from Miss Ferguson times. I'll be that. I'm going up one of these days. And then Philip, Shirley, so when young, because I said, when I'm 55, when I'm 60. I turned 65 now, last Monday. And
Happy
so,
belated.
Thank you. Good October, people. Yeah, so I wish everybody come out, and especially Belmopan. We having a bus from Belmopan too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You bring your fans from Belmopan to come in.
Yeah, my little church members and neighborhood.
But if you're talking about Miss Wine, what did you call it? Teenagers, right? So, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you had a mandate, that you're talking to kids about addiction and so forth. Do you ladies also have a campaign or so that you would like to chair if you win Miss Y?
Of course.
Let's talk about that then.
Yeah, you know, you have many young people, they need help, right? But there's no one to talk to them. So that's where we come in, you know, and advise, right? So,
you know, it's the youths. If we start working with the youth starting from 7 years up to 15, 16, you have nothing to worry. Because you instill in them, you build their self-esteem, and you make them know who they are. And Belize has nothing to fear.
Okay. I really like this concept of seeing somebody that is seasoned and experienced do these kinds of pageants. I know you asked her why she got into the whole pageantry life, but I look at this competition the way I would look at, I don't know, Queen of the Bay or Miss Belize. And are those kind of the same conditions that you all have to do? You have to go up and model a little bit, do a turn, do a curtsy.
Well, the Y is totally different from Queen of the Bay and
Miss Belize.
Miss Belize. And it's one of the biggest pageants.
Okay.
Yes, it is. I've been to both pageants, and when I went up last year and I walked on that stage and I saw how many people was out there, I mean, there wasn't a seat available.
Amen.
Wow.
It wasn't.
Well, if I'm going to bring bus, of course not.
we have to curtsy. We're going to do a dance. We have our talent, and we also wear our evening gown, and then we have a little chit chat.
Okay.
You know, and then we'll have someone to serenade us. You know, so.
What has this support been like from your family and friends? I mean,
great.
at some point, all of you ladies who are participating in this competition, this pageant, you have to have the strength and the support around you. What has that been like?
Mine has been very great because I have my children behind me. I have my neighbors. I have my friends. You know, it's so funny. The gangs on the street. Miss Kill when you get ticket. you know, so that's a big support.
Yeah.
I know they will be there. So, and I am looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We have tickets here now, so you guys can get some.
You know,
That's right, Miss
That's right. They're here pushing the sales. I like that.
Yeah, tickets here now. So and it's just $15 and $25 for the downstairs, and
it's so
upstairs
cheap.
15.
It's so cheap?
It's
How much
going
for a ticket?
$25
and 15.
wow.
That's more than affordable.
So you guys can take two right now. I have.
We'll talk after the segment.
No, we'll talk now. When the time comes to talk, we'll talk. When we talk now.
We have our next contestant here. Good morning. Good morning. Funny state for our viewers, your name and of course why you joined Miss Y.
Good morning. My name is Judith Rosales, and I was honored to join Miss Y pageant this year. I've been with Miss Y for 8 months now, and I'm very, very, very happy to be a part of the senior group. And we're doing a lot of things for Miss Y, and I want you all to come out on Friday, run down to Bliss and get your tickets. We have tickets available, and it's only a couple days. $15 is affordable, and $25 for good seating at the reserve.
Ms. Rosales, what did your family say when you said, you know what, I'm going up and take up the mantle to compete in Miss Y pageant?
Okay. Well, it was very good. My family was very honored because my mom, when she was 69, 17 years ago, 2006, she was a part of the Y.
Okay.
And she came in very, very good, you know, maybe second, third place. So she was a mentor to me, and I decided, you know, I thought I was too young. I thought you have to be 60 and older, and when Miss Philippa said 55, I'll take that challenge.
So there is that age limit to
Yes,
join.
it's from 55 up.
55 and up. And how many contestants are competing in Miss Y? Seven contestants. We have 6 of you here with us today. And we're talking about the benefits of being Miss Y. How has being Miss Y benefited you?
Well, number one, it benefited me a lot. The prizes on a whole were amazing. First of all, I won a piece of land, and that was very, very good. I got different prizes. I got a gold chain from Medina's House of Jewelry State saying Miss Y 2022,
Okay, I should bracket.
Yes, man, I have to bracket so you could know. You win cash prizes.
Yeah.
You win different little things. And the experience after winning is amazing.
What's the setup like? Because you said it's very different from Miss Billy's and these other pageants, right? So what can we expect?
Well, when I said it's different, we don't do the bathing suit and the curtsy, that slow curtsy, because you know we're teenagers. And
your knees will give way.
Yes, that too. Because when you get old, you start to get like Lee Cranky Door, you know? So, so that's the difference. You do a dance with the whole group, and you come out, you do your presentation, then you go into your culture, and then you do your formal wear. Okay, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Do you all have to do practice and
oh yes, they have to practice
every day for a month,
except Wednesday.
Except Wednesday, because that's when we all meet at the Y for the meetings on Wednesdays.
Okay.
How has it been like for you guys as a group? You're going through this journey together. You're also participating in activities that are put together by the Y. what has that been like in terms of you guys forming a bond with each other? Perhaps we could start with you.
Okay. It makes us family, because some of us maybe don't have family oriented. I want to say for the 8 months I'm with the Y program, I feel more younger, I feel more better. I know we are seniors, but I'm the youngest one in the Y. But I want to say it's a privilege for us to be a part of the Y, and we have a lot of activity going there. You know, we play games, we go on trips, we have fun, we have parties. You know, the Y really offer a lot to the public and to us, senior citizens.
A lot of you say that your family supports you and you're doing this and they're coming and you're bringing everybody, including the gangs, everybody to come, that is why, right? But do they come with you afterwards? Do they come with you to these meetings? Do they come with you to these sessions to see what Miss Y, the Y is all about?
Well, on Wednesdays when we have our meeting, we really can't bring anybody in.
Okay.
That's for the Y.
Okay.
It's for the family when we meet together. But there's support in anything you have. As long as you have a ticket selling, they're ready to buy, you know. And that's the beauty of the supporters and the beauty of Miss Y to get them to come, because we are always advising.
Where do the, I know that the cost is 25 and 15. What do these proceedings go to?
Say that again.
What does the monies go towards?
The money is used. Miss Y, can you answer that? Because
Sure, Miss
I want to
Gill.
take it from you.
The monies go into the Y, back to the Y, because it's a free organization, non-profit.
Yes.
So that money goes back into them. And I guess they use it to repair the buildings and different stuff like that, you know, which is a very good idea.
Yeah, indeed. Ladies, we've been talking about this pageant. We've been talking about the Y, but I really want to hear more about you and your journeys and why you should win Miss Y. Why should I cast my vote in? Well, I don't know how it works. But why should I cast my vote in for you? What are you? What is your mandate? What do you stand for? Why should you win Miss Y, Miss Henrietta?
I know I am going to win Miss Y.
Okay.
Nice. I love your confidence.
And the reason why I am going up for Miss Y at this age, because there are so many young girls and even little ones coming up. And if Miss Gill can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what I'm putting out there. So win or lose,
but
I will be gracing that stage.
All right.
Miss Dex?
Okay, for me, if I win Miss Y, I would like to help the mothers with children out here that's being abused and the children that's being abused. And when I was coming up, we didn't have that kind of help. We was on our own with our children with no fathers. And I would love to help the single mothers that I see out here struggling and don't have that support behind them right now. You know, they are just alone with their children and they feel alone. And I want them to know that we have a God, we have Father Yahweh with us, and we have to pray more. And I want them to learn and to know that Father Yahweh helps. God help us through anything. And that's why I want to win this one.
Miss Earlene?
Well, I have talent.
Okay.
So I know I am going to win this one.
Okay,
right?
all right. What is the talent? Okay, I say.
Just
okay.
ready for call.
All right.
Yeah, you know, I serve great in my community where I live, right? I am a senior justice of the peace. I was on the village council. And, you know, when I was young, I have never heard about Miss Y. There was Miss Y at that time. But now, Miss Y has so much to offer to the young people, right? So that's what we are here for, to bring out the message to the young people, you know, so they could get involved, come out, support, and see what Miss Y is all about, you know.
Miss Goff?
Yeah, I would like to win, and if not, I'm still sorry. I would like to win too, and because the prize is attractive.
In it to win it.
In it to win the prizes.
Tear back everything that But I still want to continue. I'm doing right now with the youths a lot and go to school, and as Miss Lady said, I don't know for we youths need we guardian. Boy, if they need it. So when you go to school and help with religion, like you have to like, okay, what, say excuse, tell a friend sorry, tell it's different from when we, and enjoy going to the shut-ins, and then you learn from the older people.
Yes.
You learn so much, and you need company just to listen.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward and continue if not.
Yes.
If I'm that way.
And Ms. Rosales?
Okay, well, first I was taking it for granted. You know, it's 7 of us. It doesn't matter who wins.
Yeah.
Right? And then when my host told me, she said, you know, getting it to win it, this is a pageant, this, you know. And I think about it and I say, yeah, I'm a herbalist nutritionist. I would promote my herbs and everything. But if anyone else wins, I don't have a problem with it. You know, I'm very happy that 7 of us, we're all winners. And whosoever win, I really will be happy and blessed for them. If it's me, thank God. If it's one of them, I thank God more. You know, because we all are a family. And this has nothing to do with, you know, she's fighting for this, and we're all seniors. And we all will take home something that is worth it. You know, so all of us are winners. We want to win.
We need to reach out to the sponsors, right?
Yes,
because they are not coming in the way they should. You know, so they need to listen to us and come and help sponsor, you know, so that the gifts and things can come in, because Miss Philippa is really trying. She's fighting herself to, you know, to bring in all the gifts and reach out to the sponsors and things. So we want them to hear us this morning and keep the phone ringing this morning, telling Miss Philippa, okay, come and pick this up or come and pick that up. And extending again to you guys, I have tickets right here, and you have to get tickets before I leave from here.
Miss Earlene came to sell. There's no question about that. But yes, as you mentioned, the tickets are going for 15 and 25. What's the difference between those?
The upper is the upper tier is 15, and the below is 25. Right.
And where can we buy tickets? Well, with you all and
at the Y and at the Bliss.
Or at the Bliss. Okay.
And Belmopan Y.
And
they could call my number.
She did rep for her Belmopan people. Say, you know.
My number is 674-6964 Belmopan people. You can call me. I'll bring it to you.
Come out.
Come out and support. It's a word call.
Nice.
While we're here sitting, we are here today at Open Your Eyes. But the Y would appreciate if one of these days you would get in contact with Miss Cable and tell her you're coming over there. We would love that.
Okay, well, so we producer right over there to talk to she.
Well, loud and clear.
No, she has heard.
Here.
And when and what time is the pageant?
7 o'clock.
It's on the Friday,
yes.
7th of October at 7 p.m.
sharp. No Belizean time.
No Belizean time.
Close the door at 7.
That's right.
7 o'clock.
7 sharp.
The curtain is
We're going to have fun.
Ladies will take you guys off your seat, so you've got to be there.
Let me tell you, it's 7 candidates going on, and the talent is, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it.
That's what
but I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
Okay. So I have to go see. All right. Miss Y is October 27th. Get your tickets now. These ladies have plenty for sale. Bilmopan people, get in contact with Miss Charlene. And it's going to be a spectacular event. This is a community effort. All proceedings go back to the Y, where they offer these free classes and so forth for our young people. So take the opportunity, go see what these ladies are made of. And yeah, good luck to all of these contestants. Miss Bacchus to take out the tickets. Right? We got to take the break. We'll be back with more OIE. Stay with us.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better, you get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
Who's my last little bit of paint?
Paint? How can that be a problem? We got you.
You have the exact color?
Definitely.
Attention DIY enthusiasts and professional builders. It's Builders Hardware's Mega Sale, starting October 16th and running through to December 30th. During our Mega Sale, you can enjoy up to 30% off items in our store. Looking to freshen up your home? Then enjoy 20% off on all paints, wood stains, and accessories. But that's not all. You get a whopping 25% discount on all other items in our store and a massive 30% off selected items. At Builders Hardware, we believe our customers are awesome. And that's why we're committed to providing top-notch service and the highest quality products. So whether you're a seasoned pro or a DIY beginner, we are waiting for you. Builders Hardware Mega Sale from October 16th until the end of the year.
My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent. Make appointments online and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information. Social Security at your fingertips. My Social Security.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Westtrack Limited is committed to working hard every day to ensure you get the right products at the most affordable price. We strive to have the greatest selection of quality, affordable, and timely products and services that will enhance your personal or corporate lives. With an extensive line of products, we'll be sure to have what you need. For even faster service, you can contact us on Facebook, WhatsApp, or by email. We look forward to seeing you come through our doors at your nearest Westtrack branch today.
Do you own a car or motorcycle and need an extra income but don't have the time to commit to a second job? Midriver is your solution, as you can work anytime and anywhere. Download the Midriver driver app from Play Store or App Store, the black app, and fill out the application or WhatsApp pictures to 615-5678 or 615-2250. Provide Midriver with pictures of your driver's license, social security or passport, insurance sticker, license sticker, title, profile picture of you, police record or the receipt, front of vehicle, rear of vehicle, left side exterior, right side exterior, picture of passenger seat interior, picture of rear seat interior, vaccination card, and email address. The list might look long, but you have all of these already. Just the police left for you to get. When your registration is complete and approved, all you have to do, turn up online. When a job comes in, swipe right, tap arriving. This allows the customer to track your GPS progress. Tap navigate. Google Maps will open to give you directions. Press arrive. Customer gets notified that you are outside. When customer enters car, swipe right to start ride. Midriver app charges by time and distance. That guarantees you to earn an income. When you reach destination and end the ride, the app will tell you and the customer the total cost of the ride. Midriver only takes 15%, so 85% of the income is all yours. Don't forget to get that police record receipt, and you can be on your way to making extra money with the help of Midriver.
And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We had a good show this morning, Isani. We want to thank our guests for coming in. Of course, we want to thank our representatives from Wings of Mind. They came in to talk about pregnancy and infant loss. And I have to tell you, I don't think I was emotionally prepared for that conversation. Mainly because I didn't think I was allowed to have that conversation, because I've never experienced it for myself. So I was very happy that they came in to say it's not just for persons that have, but how you can be a support for somebody that hasn't experienced that.
Well, to me, the most poignant part of the conversation is the fact that for the most part it has been treated as a taboo subject or matter, where we don't talk about it enough. And persons who are going through this ordeal may not have known where to turn to or whom to turn to. And so I'm happy that there is this outlet for them to be able to explore, whatever services or resources would be made available for them to deal with grief perhaps better, right? I think another part of it that stood out for me is the fact that, as Julie mentioned, people grieve differently.
Yeah.
And so while perhaps the women are more emotionally invested in grief, men find other ways how to deal with it, And as she mentioned, in the case of her spouse, he completely engrossed himself in work. Regrettably, there are other persons who perhaps turn to alcohol or some other vice to try to, and in a sense, it ties into what we describe as escapism, where you're trying to, in your mind, block out something because it's traumatic. But in the process of so doing, you're not really blocking it out. You're just delaying the inevitable, right? And so, to hear her speak of her ordeal, and to hear Isalie also mention, the situation that befell her, from what I was made to understand, just prior to us having the conversation, she was pregnant with twins, and losing them both. I could only imagine the profound emotional and physical effect that would have had, mental as well, that would have had on her. And if it wasn't for that intervention by her mother to introduce her to Julie, then Wings of Man probably wouldn't have, you know, been established to what it is today, where they're reaching out to other mothers who are going through similar issues.
And I think two things that stood out for me were the statistics, right? I think they said it was 1 in every 4 pregnancies that someone would experience a loss, and those are high statistics, especially for our population, and it kind of just brings you to that mentality of how little we talk about it. I would never have assumed that it happens so often, and then I started to think about the amount of teenage pregnancies that we do have and how many of those make it all the way to its full 9 months, and those are kind of the conversations that I had in my head kind of when we were about to speak to them, but also the fact that it doesn't extend to the maternity leave period. If you have this loss, you don't get that time, that chance to grieve, because the mentality is you are supposed to, you know, come home with this child, right? And that to me tells me that we're not promoting the conversation enough, because there should be that time of grief. Workplaces should extend that time of grief, because even if you don't have a loss, postpartum does exist in any kind of way, and so that I would imagine is at a different level. I also appreciated the fact that they offer counseling, 3 free sessions of counseling to women that want it or reach out for them. So there is that place where you can go if you've, you know, suffered from this, or if you know somebody that suffered from things. You go to Wings of Mind for emotional support, family support if you feel alone. So I want to thank them so much for coming in to spread the awareness. I didn't know it was Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. So we have one more thing to be aware of and one more organization to support. I'd like to also thank our second segment, the ladies that came from the Miss Y pageant. They're ready, Isani. I don't know if you may buy a ticket. But they are ready. The Miss Y pageant is this Friday, October 27th at the Bliss Center for Performing Arts. It begins at 7 p.m. I appreciate that they came in enthusiastic.
Yes. I think by and large the work that is being done by the YWCA is something to be commended.
Yes.
Simply because not only are they working with young women, they're also working with older women who, by way of participating in a pageant, are also giving back to the resources that are used to educate and to assist the young women with special skills and all of these other things. So it's like one cycle, right? You look at it that way, where the young help the old and the old help the young, vice versa. And I think it stands for a really good and worthwhile purpose.
Indeed, Isane. So go out, get your tickets. It's $15 and $25. The ladies are selling, but you can also get it at the box office at the Bliss, and of course at the YWCA office here in Belize City and in Belmopan, I believe. But Isane, as we are wrapping up, we do want to leave our audience with some motivation this morning, and that motivation, of course, comes from our eye opener that is taken from Dailyom.com. And it goes like this. A hard day can sometimes be a great teacher if we stop for reflection. We all have days that seem endlessly difficult and hard. On these days, it is as if the odds are stacked against us and we just can't get a break as one challenging situation follows another. We may feel like we're standing in the ocean getting hit by wave after wave, never able to get a full breath. Sometimes it's necessary or worth it to stay in the fray and work our way through. Other times, the best idea is to go home and take the breath we need in order to carry on. If the only choice is to get through it, a hard day can be a great teacher. It will eventually end and we can look back on it, taking pride in the stamina, courage, and ingenuity it took to hold our ground. We may also look back and see how we could have done things differently. This knowledge will be valuable when we face hard days in the future. Trust your gut as you are deciding whether to work through it, and know that sometimes a timely retreat is the best way to ensure a positive outcome. We may begin to see that what we saw as hardships are actually opportunities. As our attitude changes for the better, our actions and circumstances will follow suit. No one is immune to having a hard day, and these are usually the times we can learn the most. If we can find it in our hearts to examine the day and maybe make one small change in perception, we can ease our pain and greet the next day that much wiser. I like this eye-opener. I think that sometimes when bad things happen, when it rains, it pours, right? And it's very difficult to be optimistic. It's very difficult to see the opportunity in these challenges, because one thing is just happening right after the other, and then you're wondering, like, why is this happening? Why can't I just take a moment? But the reality is that you can. You can take a breath, you can take a step back and think about it. Because honestly, how many of us go through one thing right after the other? You can't really think logically about how to deal with a situation, because so many things are happening at once. You have to give yourself that opportunity to take time, step back, and look at the situation for what it is. Otherwise, you're just never going to get through it.
Well, in this job of mine, every day is a challenging day, right?
Yes.
Every day is another day with its own obstacles and what have you. So I'm forced to be optimistic, because my personality and being able to face the challenges head on, I don't look at the glass as half empty. I have to look at it as half full.
That's true.
But yes, at the end of the day, if you're to reflect on what you've learned or what you've been able to take away from any given situation, it could be the most pleasant of experiences, it could be the most difficult ones. You always have to be able to take something away from it. It's what you impart, right? And those are some of the lessons that you carry with you going forward. So even if it's you telling yourself, well, okay, I've learned not to do this again, or I've learned to approach it from a different perspective. Something about the situation worth taking away. You know, and when I look at, you know, the ability to accept certain things for what they are. Some of the challenges, you either created them for yourself, or they're unforeseen, that they just happen to be.
Indeed.
But either way, it's a matter of being able to face it, learn something from it, and use it as a teaching moment.
I think we talk about these eye-openers a lot in the aspect of, it really does take you to think optimistically and to think positively. And I'm sorry, for me, that's really difficult. It's really hard for me to be positive about certain situations, because the world is such a strange, scary, and wonderful place all at once, and sometimes I have to think realistically, and that puts me in a state of not being as optimistic as I should be. So these eye-openers always kind of like give me a bolt, right? A jolt to come back and think, all right, you know what? Follow your own advice that you give, and think positively. So I hope wherever you are this morning, whatever the situation may be, that you're doing your utmost best to be optimistic, to see a way forward positively. Before we go though, we do have a birthday shout out, Isani, and it's somebody very special. It is of course Zoe Tillett's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Zoe, from of course your father here at Open Your Eyes. Mr. George reminded us that it is your wonderful birthday today, so happy birthday to you from all of us here at OYE, and your family and friends. Do have a wonderful day today, Zoe. It is October 23rd, and if it is your birthday today also, happy birthday. If you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, drop us a line right here at oye@channel5belize.com. For live stream or more information, you can catch us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, and of course check all of our highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize. And please do us the favor to join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon, Belize. It's going to be another hot day. Stay hydrated, take care of yourself. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.